Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a seriously chilling viral phenomenon, unexplainable entities that are being captured on camera. We're going to unpack hours of bizarre, deeply unsettling surveillance footage that's been flooding the internet lately. And honestly, it's the kind of stuff that absolutely forces you to question what might actually be lurking just out of sight.
I mean, just imagine it for a second. You wake up in the dead of night, you groggily check a mundane notification on your phone, because your security camera detected motion. But instead of seeing a neighborhood cat or a passing car, you see this unnatural, almost alien-like silhouette creeping right outside your home. It's wild, but this is an actual scenario playing out for homeowners worldwide. They are capturing beings that completely defy any natural explanation. So, Section 1. Intrusion on the ordinary, and when the unknown enters our everyday lives. To kick things off, let's look at how these entities disrupt peaceful isolation. In one truly terrifying instance, caught on camera, a couple was just hanging out at their ranch when they heard these inhuman screams echoing from a distance. So they went outside and saw a naked man just standing, looking totally lost at the edge of the forest. Trying to help, they made the massive mistake of whistling to get his attention. And guys, the moment they whistled, the figure instantly dropped all fours and charged toward them at an impossible speed. Needless to say, they didn't stick around to find out what it was. With dozens of these bizarre clips just flooding the internet right now, ranging from towering figures out in the distance to bizarre crawling entities in the pitch dark, we really have to ask ourselves, what kind of entity actually fits this terrifying description? Like, what on earth are these cameras actually capturing? That brings us to Section 2, defining the Skinwalker and the lore behind the nightmare. To truly grasp what people claim to be seeing in these backyard videos, we need to look at the specific lore. According to the source material, a skinwalker is strictly defined as a witch capable of shapeshifting into human or animal forms. So this isn't just your generic movie monster, right? It's an entity trapped somewhere between humanity and the animal kingdom. And that really explains why the physical movements caught on these cameras look so horrifyingly distorted and unnatural. Now, naturally, skeptics try to find mundane explanations for this stuff. Take, for example, a viral clip of a creepy figure caught crawling on top of a residential roof in the dead of night. Some folks might quickly explain this away, saying, oh, it's just a drunk guy who climbed up there. But observers rightfully point out that the eerily fluid, spider-like crawling we're seeing, it completely defies a simple explanation. I mean, a drunk person simply doesn't move with that kind of silent, calculated agility. No way! Let's move on to Section 3, Patterns of the Paranormal, the Recurring Traits of Terror. As we analyze the footage across all these different encounters, some really distinct and unsettling patterns start to emerge. Whether it's the unnatural four-legged crawling we just talked about, glowing eyes piercing the darkness, inhuman screams breaking the silence, or even naked figures leaping off fences in ways that utterly defy human joint mechanics, the hallmarks are incredibly consistent from video to video. And what's crazy is this phenomenon is truly global. It's not just isolated to one spooky forest or one small town. In Turkey, footage actually captured a giant demonic-looking creature with glowing eyes and huge ram-like horns just standing on a hillside. Meanwhile, halfway across the world in Japan, an urban explorer in an abandoned house captured a pale, ghastly hand clawing its way around a corner. And right next to it, a figure with hollow, ghostly eyes hiding beneath long, dark hair. It is absolute nightmare fuel. But honestly, perhaps the most deeply unsettling clip moves the horror right inside the house. It shows literally the ultimate childhood fear coming to life. A young child is lying on a rug, happily humming and drawing, when these unnatural fingers reach out from underneath the bed. In a flash, a completely unhuman shape lunges and swiftly pulls the child under into the darkness. It's an absolutely chilling mystery, and it was captured in real time. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the Espanola police mystery, when law enforcement meets the unexplainable. Let's look at a highly documented case that brings real institutional credibility to these viral claims. Because this isn't just a grainy camera out in the woods. This happened in a secured, modern facility, the Espanola police station. It was a quiet Saturday night. The station was completely still. Officer Carl Romero was on duty, keeping a steady eye on the surveillance monitors. Initially, he noticed a strange flicker on the screen and just dismissed it as a moth, common enough for a night shift. But he quickly realized it was something else entirely. The figure had human legs, but they moved with this bizarre, eerie fluidity.
Officer Romero noted that the ghostly figure moved with an unnatural calmness. His description is just chillingly precise. I saw the legs and was a human, but not a real human. It was a silhouette that faded in and out of the shadows, moving in a way that literally no living person ever would. Now, what makes this footage so incredibly compelling is that the entity slipped right past the Sallyport's iron gates. In any ordinary circumstance, an entry or exit through that secure metallic gate would trigger loud alarms echoing through the entire station. But this figure, it drifted through in absolute silence. It completely bypassed the alarm system, as if the barriers were merely illusions. And this wasn't just brushed under the rug either. Detectives thoroughly investigated the incident and officially stated there was absolutely no logical explanation for it. They firmly ruled out lighting issues. They ruled out technical glitches, as they confirmed there is absolutely no physical way in or out of that secured area without an open gate and an alarm sounding. Yet, the camera objectively recorded it happening. Interestingly enough, Romero's sighting isn't an isolated event for this department. Other officers working in that very station have reported feeling unseen breath on the back of their necks while just sitting doing paperwork in the briefing room. They've heard inexplicable midnight noises and seen unexplainable images in the lobby. And while the station was only built in 2006 and isn't, on an ancient burial ground or anything, police do note there have been several unsolved murders in the nearby area. That definitely adds a very dark overtone to the location. Moving on to Section 5, what lurks in the dark? The inescapable tension of the unknown. Whether these encounters happen in an active, well-lit police station or out in the wild, they force us to confront what hides just outside our daily field of vision. The terror is especially palpable in places already steeped in dark history. Take New Jersey's abandoned Overbrook Asylum. A group of urban explorers cautiously entered the decayed hallways, right? Suddenly, a high-pitched screeching sound cuts through the silence. Swinging their camera around, they captured a fast, furious, four-legged creature charging aggressively toward them down the corridor. Honestly, they did the only thing they could do. They ran for their lives. And for those just walking alone at night on a desolate road, the line between normal and nightmare is incredibly thin. In one piece of footage, a simple, snapped branch alerts a walker that they aren't alone. They glance toward a nearby streetlight and literally lock eyes with a terrifying figure. Almost instantly, the entity switches to attack mode. It drops to all fours and rapidly scrambles toward them at an absolutely terrifying, completely unnatural speed. While it's impossible to say for absolute certain what these cameras have captured, the sheer volume of this unsettling footage leaves us all questioning our own reality. I mean, are these elaborate hoaxes? Just weird technical glitches? True apparitions of ghosts? Or are we actually capturing real skinwalkers, shape-shifting entities bleeding over into our modern world? The answers remain hidden in the shadows, for now at least. But the fact that these things are being recorded on the very security cameras meant to keep us safe, that is deeply unsettling. So, as you turn off the lights tonight, I want to leave you with this provocative thought about the footage we've explored in this explainer. If you heard a whistle in the dark, and one of these entities suddenly dropped to all fours and caught up to you, what would happen next?